Welcome to the X Corner. I'm here adding that mutation to the SuperHeroCrew still. I'll be covering the X comics for the week of April 10th, 2019. This week we have 5 comics. Age of X-Men Apocalypse and the X-Tracts number 2, Age of X-Men The Marvelous X-Men 3, Dead Man Logan 6, X23 11, and X-Force number 6. Spoilers, of course. We'll start with Age of X-Men Apocalypse and the X-Tracts number 2, written by Tim Seeley, art by Salvador Espin. We start with Kitty being broken out of a rehabilitation center in the past. She was being brainwashed by Mastermind, and now in the present, this is what she thinks is the cause of her remembering things wrong. She, like many others, is starting to remember the real world. Apocalypse, though, blames the X-Men, and has her pray with him. There's more to him than just free love guru, I believe. Meanwhile, Genesis, Eye-Boy, Dazzler, and Unveil are in Kazakhstan looking for the Omega Mutant. They are found by a Russian version of Department X and attacked. It looks bad until Eye-Boy goes all John Wick and blasts all the bad guys. Unfortunately, it turns out he was using rubber bullets, and the leader of the Russians, called the Siberian, freezes his hands off. Dazzler throws up some light distraction, and Genesis grabs everyone and runs. They're afraid that the Russians are after them, but Eye-Boy says he can see them. They're all dead. Omega Red has got them. He left a note saying he's going to kill everyone in power, and that the enemy of his enemies is his friend. Which might be good for the X-Tracts. This was a much better second issue for the minis than others. Generally, they seem to find some story with the second issue, and this one at least has a cool fight. There are some weird pacing issues with various random scenes of Apocalypse sprinkled throughout, but the Omega Red stuff is good. Eye-Boy was seconds away from being so cool until it turned out he didn't murder a bunch of Russians. Oh well, maybe we'll get an Eye-Boy Punisher when we get back to the real world. I do want to see what happens when the team meets up with Omega Red though, so that's a plus. 7 out of 10. Then there is Age of X-Men The Marvelous X-Men number 3, written by Lonnie Nadler and Zach Thompson with art by Marco Failla. The X-Men start by saving the Bahamas from a hurricane, but when they get back, Apocalypse is on TV spreading his free love message. That makes Magneto mad that he's allowed to do it, but it makes Colossus really mad as he smashes the TV. Some of the team wants to do something about it and plan to be at the Xavier Day party Apocalypse is planning. That can't end well. Storm finally confronts Magneto about the portal in his house, showing things that cannot be. She says she remembers things too, and they sort of start to piece together that something isn't right. X-Man detects something is amiss and shows up. He says there's an anomaly, and asks Megs and Storm to check it out with him. It's another vision portal, this time showing Cyclops as Phoenix killing Xavier. Both Storm and Magneto start to remember, but X-Men blast them, sending them back home and erasing their memories. He's having a hard time keeping his utopia in check. This was a more slow-going issue, and this series definitely seems to be meandering. We get that the X-Men are starting to remember and throw off X-Man's control, but then the Apocalypse stuff is interjected to distract from that story. It's a bit muddled, unfortunately. I like the concept, but I wish there was more story attached. 6 out of 10. Then we got Dead Man Logan number 6, written by Ed Brisson, with art by Mike Henderson. In his farewell tour, Logan is wrapping things up. He meets with Steve Rogers to apologize for trying to kill him and the Avengers under Mysterio's control. Steve forgives him right away. He then goes to his no longer dead ex, Mariko's house, to ask for a favor. He wants her to look after his future wife, who is just a child in this timeline. He knows she'll never be his wife, but he wants her to have a good life. Mariko agrees, and they say their goodbyes. The whole time Logan has smelt someone following him, and he says to meet him in a nearby bar. Of all the people I expected, I didn't think it would be the real Logan. Young Logan wanted to make sure that the old man version wasn't a fake or a clone, and is reassured. He asks about his future, and old man Logan says they don't share a future, but offers up some words of wisdom. He tells young Wolverine never to stop fighting. Even if he settles down, don't let his guard down, stay sharp. He also tells his younger self to go back to the X-Men because they miss him. A brawl then starts nearby, and the two Logans can't resist to jump in for one last brouhaha. Old Man Logan then goes back to Forge to take his one-way trip back to the Wastelands. He says his tearful goodbyes to Jubilee, Celia, Forge, Hawkeye, and Glob, who is really upset. He then walks through the portal, which blows up behind him, on his request, and he's back in the Wasteland. Well, that was unexpected. I assumed this was how the series would end, but here we are halfway through already. We're back in the Wastelands. It's becoming a real old man book now. I wonder if we'll run into Old Man Hawkeye, Punisher, or Quill. This was a nice issue with Logan trying to wrap up all those loose ends. I like how he kept apologizing to Cap about almost killing Avengers, and Cap just saying he didn't almost kill them. It was a subtle joke, but appreciated. The Logan Squared scene was nice too. The old man gave good advice, and I like how neither got all gushy about it, but they still had good talk. Hopefully the young whippersnapper listens to the old man. This series just revitalized itself. I expected a slow burn of a final world tour for the old man. Then now they fast forward to another final adventure in the Wastelands. 8 out of 10. Next we have X23 No. 11, written by Mariko Tamaki, art by Diego Oletegu. The sisters are off destroying another cloning company, but Gabby seems not to be into it. She lightens up a bit when a bunch of guards show up, but she still isn't very happy. She keeps smelling something that Laura refuses to acknowledge. After they dispense with the guards, Gabby refuses to leave after Laura gets the info from the computer she wanted. Gabby smells someone and rushes off to try and see who it is. The company bugs out though before Gabby can catch them. When they get home, Laura is mad that Gabby didn't follow her orders. She says they were just there for the info. Gabby ignores her at first, but finally breaks down. Laura wants to destroy all the clones in cloning factories, but Gabby wants to save what she sees as her other sisters. She's still grieving the cyber clone's death. Laura just can't understand why Gabby wants to save them. She's a bit heartless and admits that in the letter she is retroactively writing to Gabby. Gabby storms out and leaves with her stuff. Laura lets her go, but later obviously regrets it. This was a sisters fighting story. I like how real it felt, and obviously Mariko Tamaki has sisters. The fact that as nice as Laura seems, she is still a broken girl, who was raised to murder, grew up as a prostitute, and then joined a superhero group. She doesn't know how to relate to Gabby actually wanting to connect to people and have a family. Laura has always seemed distant, but in this issue she really shows how broken she is. Gabby's just a kid and doesn't realize this, of course, so she just thinks Laura is being a jerk. It was really well written. It didn't try to hit you over the head, but showed all this through both girls' actions. I hope Gabby gets back to her wacky self, because depressed teen Gabby is very depressing. 8.5 out of 10 though. Lastly, we have X-Force No. 6, written by Ed Brisson, art by Damien Cusurio. This issue, like last, shows us the events leading up to the present, this time from Strife's point of view. After extinction, Strife's world was saved and everyone restored, but he still was after Nathan, aka Kid Cable. Cable being his clone, or vice versa, he's always been a thorn in Strife's side, and now almost ending reality really pissed him off. He finds old Cable's safe house and his time travel devices, and plans to go back and find Kid Cable. He ends up in Transia, and we see him make plans with the leaders to supposedly save all the mutants. In reality, he's bringing them to his time to be an army since Cable's freedom fighters are winning. He also gets the added bonus of finding the hounded out Rachel, who is, in this reality, the Mother Teresa to the freedom fighters. The initial group of mutants he gets are pretty useless since he lied to them and expected them to fight for him. So he kills them all and blames it on the freedom fighters, which persuades the next round of inductees to have a reason to fight. He also sends the Hounds off to murder the leadership of the freedom fighters for good measure. We then catch up to the present as the MLA are kicking X-Force's butt. He forces Kid Cable to surrender, or he'll kill the rest of the X-Force. Kid Cable concedes and is taken prisoner into the future. I'm not sure we needed yet another whole issue to tell us how Strafe got to where he was. It probably could have been done in a page of bad guy monologuing. It was still interesting, I guess, to see how it all fits together. X-Force got chumped out pretty bad, though. I guess the bad guys had the element of surprise, but still, they got their butts kicked pretty easily. Hopefully next issue isn't a flashback from some random kidnapped mutant's POV, otherwise, maybe you can progress the story a bit. 6.5 out of 10. Had a great week, but no real stinkers either. Man Logan and X23 were the standouts, and hopefully the others step up a gear next issue to be good too. Other than that, not much to say. See you next week.